Hi and welcome everyone. I am Friar Tuck and welcome to the Army of Tuck. And what we're going to be talking about today is if you're thinking about starting a job program because you are an advocate, or let's just say that you're not even an advocate, you're not servicing the homeless, but you would like to be able to help the homeless out. What is it that you can do that will actually be beneficial to the homeless population and kind of what things are effective to the homeless community and what things are not when it comes to finding employment, because it doesn't matter where you're at, everybody wants the homeless to be able to get a job. So if you want to offer any type of good services or any type of outreach, you're definitely going to be able to get funding for work rehabilitation or finding people work. But there is a way in which you can do it, and then that is effective, and then there's a way that you can do it that is just it looks good on paper, but it's actually never going to produce any results. With my business development specialist that I was talking with through the homeless entrepreneur program, her and I got into this conversation. I think it's actually a really good conversation to have, which is why I'm having it here with you. Okay, so let's talk about the job program. Okay, what can you offer? Most people they want to say, "Oh, well, we're going to bring computers, we're going to do resume building, we're going to, give people like job boards and bulletin boards and things like that." Now that kind of works, but you got to realize out here being homeless, you've got a lot more obstacles to overcome. One is your hygiene. Uh, if the shelters are full, if you've got a lot of stress on the shelters, getting a shower can take sometimes 2 and 3 hours of your day. So you've got to account for that. You've got to account for eating, especially if you're in between food stamps, because even though they give you $300, you try eating fast food every day for 30 days and see how much it costs you. When I was running my business, it was costing me $700 a month just to eat out for every meal through Uber Eats, and that was me going cheap. Okay, I wasn't spending a lot of money. I was going with the bare minimum. So you've got to account for all of that. And so when it comes down to it, when you're homeless, you only have a few hours that you can sit there and actually either focus towards work, towards being productive, and things like that. Because just getting your basics takes so much of your day. So if you're bringing a job program to your constituents or to the people that you're trying to service, is giving them a resume builder class going to help them? Most people already know how to build a resume. They teach you this in high school. So what is re-educating them on something that they should already know? How is that benefiting the homeless community? It's not really, because they already know how to do it. Now you have these people that are uh, they're unsure of themselves, and then they kind of like suck all of your time because they become so codependent that the people that actually really do need your help, maybe somebody trying to figure out how to fine tune their resume. So instead of maybe offering a resume building class, maybe one thing you may want to do is say, bring me your resume, let's take a look at it, and let's see how we can tailor it to be able to fit the potential employer, because each resume should be tailored for specific jobs that you're trying to get, whether it's customer service or general labor. You're supposed to create a resume that's tailored for that, because that's what the employer is looking for. You don't want to give them a bunch of spam, right? Okay. So being able to critique that and to kind of help them design it. Now that might be helpful, but a full class on resume building, no, it's a one-on-one, because each person has their own skill set. Now there is another thing in which, if you want to sit there and go, okay, I want to do an education program, Tuck. I want to be able to do something to where I can bring them into a classroom and I can help them. Well, if you're going to do something like that, this is something that is the wave of the future. Right now in the homeless community, this is something that is so underserved and so neglected. And it is such an opportunity for the average homeless person to be able to get on their feet and to be able to have something that works around their schedule, because we talked about how much time it actually takes, right? So if you know how much time it's actually going to take, then one of the things that you could definitely do is, maybe educate them on how to get into the digital economy, because the digital economy, there is not a lot of even the job programs that are offered through the shelter, they will not recognize the digital income. And you have the wave of the future. If you don't do it, you're hurting those that you're trying to help, because for a lot of us it is our avenue to be able to be productive, to be able to make some money until we can get housed either through various programs or being able to afford our own housing. Okay, but all that once we get housed, then all the that time that we were wasting to be able to take care of our basics is now narrowed down to a small window of maybe 1 or 2 hours throughout the day versus like 4 to 6 hours throughout the day because you got to hurry up and wait. Okay, so the digital economy, it could take you an hour to do a video and then maybe another, hour or two to edit it, another hour to upload it. You spent 4 hours of your day. So you could actually technically have enough time, even with all of the research of time and services and stuff that you got to go to, that you can still be productive and have a potential for a full time income, even though you are very limited on the available time that you have. Okay. And this is something that is beneficial to the homeless community. There are so many different avenues. It does not require that you take a shower every day. It does not require that you pass a drug test. It does not require that have to, pass mental cognizance tests or anything else like that. Just about anybody can do it because there is a place, there is a spot for everybody. Even the old fuddy duddies who are scared of technology, there is a spot for them. People need a friend for a day. Old ladies need somebody to talk to. It'd be nice. And hey, it's mutually beneficial doing something that they really need, anyways. Now, this is a way for them to be productive, to be able to make money within the digital economy because the ability to panhandle is quickly going away with the digitization of our money supply and the fact that people are so stuck in their cell phones or distracted driving. Nobody's paying attention to a sign anymore. And plus, post COVID, there's not very much foot traffic, so it's very, very hard to be able to panhandle. Now you're getting larger chunks of money because I think people understand this, but it is much harder. So if you don't get into the digital economy, it's definitely going to hurt you. And so therefore, creating a curriculum around that and also working with the shelters to be able to recognize that is going to make a huge impact within the homeless community. Okay, another thing that you could do that would be very, very beneficial. And when I was in Dallas at the Dallas Life Foundation, this is one of the things that they did, and I kind of marked it in my mind. I said, you know what, that's a good thing. I hope to see more of this, and I really haven't. And through their shelter, they had a work program. Okay, you had to be clean and sober, and if you weren't clean and sober, you had to go through the drug rehab program. And then after you were done with the drug rehab program, you go over to the job program. It'll take you about a year or so to kind of go through that whole process, right? But what happens is you go in there in their job program because they've already made the connections with all of the different employers within the community, the ones that are willing to hire, because there are tax benefits, tax shelters that you get, especially if you're getting like food stamps, TANF, whatever government benefit you're getting. These companies, in order to hire you, are going to get tax benefits. So it benefits them. And if you're bringing them quality workers, well, then you know what that does is that creates a symbiotic relationship because now you can get homeless in a job quickly. They understand the situation that they have to work around it. And so, therefore, you have an employer that understands that they're going to get a quality employee. So, therefore, they can be a little bit more flexible in how they deal with the employee while they help them and be part of their vehicle of getting them off the streets, which is gainful and stable employment. Okay, so you also have the ability to do that if you are thinking about starting like a job program. Now there's many different ideas that can stem from that. As a content creator myself, one of the things that I am noticing is the just the plethora of jobs. So let me tell you what I've done within the digital marketplace, and I'm going to walk it down because this is being done in a podcast form. One, two, there's not going to be any special editing of this because this is information. This is a podcast. This is me talking to you, and it's going to be done in this format moving forward. I think this is going to be the way I'm doing it because I think that this is the best way to talk to you. If you disagree with me, or if you agree with me, please let me know down in the comments because I would love to know your feedback if this is a proper format. But let me get into some of the different things that I did. So one of the first things that I did was I went on Fiverr and I started doing appointment setting because I've got a sales background. I've done sales and stuff like that. I did appointment setting. I got a couple of gigs. I got some 5-star reviews because what you're doing is you're building a brand, you're building a reputation. And when you go this route, you have more stability in the workplace than you do relying on an employer because you're there at the mercy of the employer. versus being there at the leisure of those that need your services. So as long as there's a demand, you'll have work, but you're also flexible. You're working in and out of multiple markets because you provide a specific service that can be used, you know, uh, cross industry. You need appointment centers for all different types of sales. Okay, so therefore, if the insurance industry is going down, well, the vacuum cleaner industry is going up. Either or. Okay, so you have those different things that you can definitely do. That's one of the first things. I think I made maybe like $300 or $400 off of that. Now, I did go on to Upwork and I was doing video editing because I was using the Adobe suite. I like the Adobe suite, but because of my situation, I'm actually using something a little bit easier. It's called CapCut. You can use it right on your mobile, and it does great for you, especially if you need to, because I mean, you're on a small little device to be able to point and click and to be able to do the precise editing that you would need, the detailed stuff. Go with Adobe. But if all you're stuck with is your phone, like I am, CapCut is one of the best softwares that I use. It's pretty much the only thing that I use. I have access to Adobe here, but I don't use it because, well, actually, I'm going to use it for this because I need to align the audio with the video. But past that, I'm going to export it and I'm going to do the rest of the editing within within CapCut. But I was doing review videos, and so there was this group out there. They say, okay, we're looking for people to do product review. So I would go on their website after they gave me the information, and I would buy the item. I would do the review. Once the review was approved, then I got the money back for what I spent. So for the first like three or four, maybe five videos, as they're getting to know you, you're improving your quality. They are looking to move you up the different tiers, because the next tier, that same product, you'd make $10, and the next tier you'd make $50. The next tier you make $200, because a lot of it has to do not only with your following but the quality of content that you're putting out. And so I was moving up. I made it to finally the third tier before I finally started getting to stuff. It's like, this is just useless trinkets. I can't do it. But I made several $100s doing that, and it was fun. I started making a profit off of it. So if you want to do like unboxing and gear videos, this is a way to be able to do it for free and to be able to make content and do like an affiliate marketing or affiliate links. But that was something that I was doing. I also, let's see, I used an app on my phone. It's called Shift Smart. I made over $10,000. I did the uh, what did I do? I did Circle K, which was their restocking. So every time they got a new shipment coming in, I actually started to understand what was going on in the supply chain before most people were even talking about it as talking heads. The other part that I did was customer service. So the Camp Lejeune articles that you were seeing, we were processing the applications for that, and so ShiftSmart had that contract. I was working, from home on my laptop, with headphones in, talking to people on the phone, filling out their application, following up with certain people. And just kind of walking them through the application process. I liked that one, but there wasn't a lot of hours for it. And then we were also doing surveys. One of them was for a garbage company and stuff like that. So you've got call center work on there. So depending upon how you want to be able to make money and what type of venue you want to be able to work in, so it does not require any real skill set. You can join the digital economy and not even have to worry about the employer, because right now employers would rather outsource. But there is this one thing that is going on with the whole IRS code that kind of screwed everything up. And so what they're doing is, okay, let me give you an example. So you're on Upwork, and one and you make a majority of your money through Upwork. Well, if you make a majority of your money through one client on Upwork, well, now that employer has to hire you, and give you benefits and treat you like an employer, even though you're subcontracting to them. And so this kind of mucks a lot of that up, because a lot of people are saying, why do I need to go to work for you when I can do piecework here and there for everybody in something that I'm good at, that I love, that I have a quality skills at? Why am I wasting my time doing it for you when I can make more money being at the top of the food chain and just subcontracting myself out? Well, the IRS has decided to make a big change in that. So that's mucking things up. So if you are, educating people on this, make sure that you keep up to date on what's going on with this whole IRS thing, because a lot of people were no longer able to be freelancers because and these companies had to, instead of being bringing them on as employees, they just severed the relationship with them. So what did that do? That put a lot of people in the digital economy out of work because the government is actually being malicious to this part of the economy. Don't know why, don't understand it. Maybe one day I will, but this is something that you need to be aware of as an advocate or as somebody that's helping out. So you're an advocate, you're doing your grant writing, stuff like that. Here is some ideas, some novel ideas that will actually help you with, being able to get the money that you see and be able to provide effective results. Okay, that's one. Number two, if you were somebody, so let's say like Jeremy, because he's one of my one of the moderators here. He participates. I consider him a friend of the channel. He's family here. Okay, but he's not an advocate. He's not in the homeless space servicing the homeless. No, so how would a guy like him help? Okay, well, he has connections within his industry, within his workplace, and he has the ability to sit there and get to know various homeless people, and he may see one that has a skill set that they're looking for, or that has the ability to learn that skill set. And because he's developed that relationship, now he can sit there and say, hey, look, I got a job for you. If you come tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. and apply for it, I got you. We'll get you in. We'll get you to work. To be able to give a homeless person that much hope, that much, uh, uh, you know, positive outlook on life is life changing. Because if they are struggling with staying sober, or they are struggling with addiction, that high, that hope just gave them, will be something that they will be seeking after. And because they're getting positive reinforcements for doing the right thing, for doing a good thing, and for being a good human being. Okay, and you are having enough compassion on this individual to then go, okay, yeah, I can definitely do this. Okay, so this is, I think this is going to go out as a podcast as well. So this is, I told you guys in when I did the last video that I was going to put one video out a month of what it is that I think that, of like making money. But now that we've kind of done some changes and stuff like that, if you were listening to my live stream, what is this, Thursday? So 2 days ago, if you were listening to my live stream, you would understand the changes that are happening here. Okay. So now that we're talking about homeless advocacy, we're talking about, servicing the homeless, what kind of ideas and stuff like that. Now, if you would like to join me over here on Patreon, if you think that this is valuable information, will help you bring better services to the homeless community, please come on over to Patreon. It's $10 a month to be able to get access to these podcasts before anybody else, and most of them will be staying private. Some one a month or so will probably go public as a way to kind of do marketing for the podcast or the channel section. And I've been wondering about podcasts anyways, and I think that I finally found out a way in which I can add that to what it is that I'm already doing on YouTube to begin with. But if you would like to be able to have a conversation with me, sit there and say, Tuck, I'd love to pick your brain. I think you're smart, intelligent. You're on the inside. You know what it's like out there. So therefore, maybe you can help me with tailoring a program that will be effective, and I can go out there and write a grant for it. Well, if you want some advice from like that from me, you can go through either here. You can go through Patreon. Actually, no, you cannot go through Patreon. You have to go through my website, which is hobotuck.com, and you can schedule either a half-hour segment or an hour segment, depending upon what you want to do. And then from there, so what you'll do is you'll book the appointment. Okay, and then on that same thing, after you're on that same page after you're done, it says pay now or reserve now. You'll click on that and you'll pay the amount. Now, because I'm still working on building it out, you're going to have to enter in the amount manually. So if you choose a 30-minute block, you're just going to type in $25, and then it's going to go through and charge you the $25. And then once I see that and I see that the appointment, they'll be tied together, we'll do the appointment. You got to do it at least a day in advance. Okay. If that's something that you find valuable for yourself, if you think that that is something that will help you and assist you, because I mean, if there's no value in it, why would you pay for it? So, anyways, guys, we are going to go ahead and close out this podcast. If you want to be able to help out the channel, if you come on over to Patreon, if you are in this space as an advocate or as somebody who wants to be able to help the homeless and find good ideas and be effective in it, this is going to be the way that you do it, but you're going to have to do it over on Patreon. It's either $10 a month, or if you want to be able to have a monthly call with me, it's $39.99, and you get one hour call with me. So you're actually getting about I would say about a 30 to 40% discount just by doing it doing it monthly that way versus just paying for it. It's less expensive to do the monthly $39.99 than it would be to just get an hour of my time, and you get access to the podcast, and you get to talk to me once a month for up to an hour, and we can sit back and discuss anything you want that covers the topic of homelessness. Okay, so anyways, thank you for being a part of this. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next podcast. And if you are on YouTube, you will be getting a once a month podcast. Everybody else that is on Patreon will be getting at least, I'm going to try and see if I can do this once a week and kind of turn this into my repertoire. We will see. All of this is kind of, I'm trying to, figure out how to get it going and get it running smooth with my limitations that I have to deal with. So anyways, guys, thank you, and I will see you in my next podcast.